Well, I've been, playing around with this Winchester, and it's what tends to happen with like, say, if you get a 22 automatic, like a Ruger 1022, I used to have one of them, and with an automatic, you tend to really go through ammunition, just playing around, and I've got a lot of playing around I'm going to be doing with this one, but particularly if you have the higher capacity magazines, you're rattling through them all the time, so you end up shooting this kind of like what you would shoot a 22. And now these bullets I've been using are these Graf and Sons copper plated, and nice bullet, and I will continue to buy these as long as they're available, but they're the only people putting a bullet out like this, and they are 17 cents each, so not real economical. But I decided, well, I really should find a bullet mold for them, but there again, it's a real offbeat thing, so you can't just, you'd have to get a custom made mold or one of these real expensive ones. I don't do that. So what I got was the Lee, these are 180 grain, this goes 158 grain, and I got it in one of the, what they call the Pro mold. It's a 6-block mold. Now, I've had those before. I have one I use for the 93 grain that I use in the Tokarev and the Nagant, because there again, it's one of the things that I go through a lot. The handles they use, they come without the handles, but the handles they use are the Pro handles that are kind of nice anyway, because they're the ones that fit on the RCBS or Lyman molds, much cheaper than the regular handles for them. Work very well, and you can really crank them out, because of that, doing 6 at a time. And I figured, well, if I'm going to go through a lot of them, might as well get the 6-block mold. But an interesting thing I noticed when I unboxed her, you see this pattern on the mold. It seems like every time I get another mold, Lee has changed the design slightly. I hope their intention is to improve these things, but this was something I hadn't seen before. It's on these inside surfaces and on the top where the sprue plate goes across. Just a little different, but they do have a habit of changing them. But we'll see how that works. Because, like I say, I'll be shooting it like a 22. No, I use this type of mold now. What this is, it's got the really fine grooves in it, the grease grooves, because it's what they call a tumble lube mold. And I've got that same type of mold for the 45, where it's got a series of smaller indentations. Not like 3 deep grooves, just a whole bunch of little ones. And I've liked them in the 45, because what happens, them little grooves will pick up more of that A-locks. They're just easier to work with if you go through a lot of them. And the mold works perfectly fine, so I figure I'll crank out some of them. But now the problem, this is the 358 mold that's really made for 357. No, I need a 352, so I have to size these down like 6 thousandths. So I've got a sizing die that I'll be modifying again, but I've done that before, lapped them out. This one has got to come quite a ways, because I think it's a 338. So it's going to take a while. But it's either that or get a custom-made one again. So I'll do that. Because if I can get the bullet down to 352 or 353, I'd be happy around in there. These plated ones are the 351. But like I say, I like these books, but I don't like to be tied down to that. It's just one manufacturer making them, because if they quit making them, or they run out of them, you know, then you're in a bind. So just as another option. And you never know if I'll get a 357 sometime, then I'll have a mold for it. But you know, these are, I think, $41 for this type of mold, and then you got to buy the handles. But I'll just swap the handles off the other ones, because the handles are just pinned in with 2 Phillips screws, so they're easy enough to change out. But I'll give that a try, because I might have to, since it's a smaller bullet, I'm sure my load is going to take a little bit of a change, but you know, I can play around with it. Because actually, as it is, with these loads, now I've been able to get quite a few reloads out of this brass. The trick is to keep track of the brass. But I think I'm on 7 or 8 reloads on this bunch of brass. So if I can keep track of them, you know, I actually considered making some kind of a deflector that you could actually mount like 2 magnets or 3 magnets, little tin plate that would send them down. If it doesn't, you know, this thing goes at such a speed, you have to be careful that you didn't get it so that it would, you know, restrict that ejection, but might be worth a try. You know, something that would just snap on and off. To get it to go down, because this one, though, I found just this morning, happened to see it laying here, because it throws them, like I say, in a weird pattern. But that was a good 25 feet from where I was shooting. You know, so if you get out in the grass with them, they're gone. But if I get them to kick down and go only like 5 feet, that'd be great. Because, you know, brass in the grass, it always lands so the black end is up. And boy, they'll lay there. They can be hard to find. You end up searching around, going from different directions, hoping to catch a glimpse of them. But we'll see. That die will be in today, that sizing die, and I'll have to start grinding that thing down. But I do like the way the tumble lube works. You know, if you're going through a lot of them, it just saves a lot of playing around. You can speed up the whole operation. And like I say, this, I think I'm going to go through a lot, you know, because anytime somebody comes up to go shooting, if they're going to shoot this thing, you know, you're going to go through at least 100 bullets, you know, because it's real easy to rattle them off real fast. And even in just the testing, trying to find the right load, you know, you go through a lot of ammunition that way. So I'll end up with 2 loads. I'll end up with one load for the cast and 1 load for the jacketed. But I can work that out. But I do like these. You know, it saved me a lot of monkeying around, because like I say, for the Tokarev and for the Nagant, I go through a lot of ammunition. You can really speed up your casting with these. And they're nice, solid, you know, the handles are nice because they're the big heavy ones, and to be able to do it all in one smooth operation, get 6 at a time, that works all right.